Well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
That was two people.
Morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. And good afternoon. Is it a good evening too? Somebody from afar? Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Welcome to this special edition Lowrey and Estey class. It's going to be a real simple class, I think, but we're going to have some good feedback from both Sean and myself, and I think Jerome will naturally chime in from time to time. Right, Jerome?
I'd be surprised if he did.
One thing I've learned is when you're in the business a long time, you always have an opinion. Right, Jerome?
Right. Hi, Lona.
Okay. All right. Well, hello everybody again. Today we're gonna just be just a simple fun class. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna just play some Christmas songs, maybe all the way through. Some are gonna be songettes. Songette. The definition of a songette is kind of like it's a short song, so we can get through a bunch of them. And I'm just gonna randomly choose different styles and setups and give you some ideas for these. Some of them you may already use, and hopefully you get some new ideas. Sean is sitting in front of an instrument as well. And so he might chime in and say, hey, this might be a good idea to use too. So technically it's really going to be Robert, Roman, and Sean. And then depending on what Jerome does, because he's got some songs that he plays that he has certain styles that work great as well. So what I'm going to ask you to do, I've got about 15 songs in my head, but I just wrote down a handful of songs real quickly. And I thought, well, I'm not going to do any more than that. What I want you to do is in the chat, put a holiday or Christmas song that you like. Okay. Now I say holiday or Christmas because to me, Jingle Bells is not really a Christmas song. To me, it's a holiday because it says nothing about Christmas, but I call it a holiday song. But
well, and I'm sure there are some good Hanukkah songs we can do too. So,
well, the only one that I know how to play is Adam Sandler's "Play Me Some Hanukkah," but I do it on my guitar actually. So, other than that, do you know some Hanukkah songs?
absolutely not. No.
Oh, shame
I
on
think
you.
I saw one in the book here, which was nice.
Okay. So put it in the chat. If I happen to know the song, we'll try to get to it. Okay. If I don't know how to play it, I might peek in my music and see if I have it as something I can pull off in a minute's notice. So I'm going to put myself on the spot. The other thing I did too is just in case I set up an Estey over here behind me, and I have a Journey. You can't see it in the picture right now, but so if there's somebody on that has like an Easy 10 or Easy 4, I'll refer to those models. Between these three models and what Sean has, we should be able to give you something for an idea for everybody. I'm going to start off today with a classic Jingle Bell song, since I just mentioned that. And I'm going to start off with a style that we've used for years and just give you a little history. Back in 1994, there was a series of organs called the N as in Nancy, T as in Tom series. Some of you may remember those organs, or you might have seen them. And there was an organ called the Lowrey Citation that was introduced. I think they only made 143 at the time. And everybody went bazonkers over a style that organ introduced the style you're going to hear. Now, I think over the years, we've kind of taken it for granted because it's been on every model for forever, but you'll recognize it. But the song I'm going to play is featuring the style. And then I got a couple of other ideas you can use for this song, just to kind of make it fun. So here's the opening style and song. Let me go back to over here and put it back. Here we go. Thank you so much. Oh boy, you guys can really applaud. Boy, I could hear you all across the United States. So that style was a simple style that some of you probably recognize. It's called sleigh bells, okay? And that was introduced in 1994 on the Lowrey Citation, and it's a fun style. But what's great about holiday and Christmas songs is that any of you have Sirius XM? Show of hands, yeah, or even on the radio. They have all sorts of holiday channels nowadays. They even have like a rock one, and they have a country one. And all these different artists play these great songs, and they do their own versions of it. One of the ones, I would write this down. Anyone like big band music? Show of hands. All right, appreciate the music. So how many of you know the name Brian Setzer? Anyone? Doesn't ring a bell? Lona, is that, you know Brian Setzer? You know who he is? Brian Setzer is, how about the band Stray Cats? Back in the late, when was MTV came out? Back in the 80s, there was a group called Stray Cats, and they had a hit song, Stray Cats, Strut, Stray. Yeah. Anyway, they did what was called rockabilly, and he was a guitar player, so he blended a little bit of rock and roll, 50s rock, with a little bit of an edge. And he actually has a Christmas, couple of them, album. But what's really clever about those albums is he uses a big band orchestra with his guitar playing, and he's an extremely gifted, musician. But if you like the big band music, you should check out that album if you like the holiday tunes. He does a Santa Claus is Coming to Town type song, but he uses the melody of In the Mood. And he has his great singers, the chorus singers, male and female singers, and they use the In the Mood a melody with the Christmas songs. We're very clever. But one of the things he does a song called Jingle Bells, and he does it in a rock and roll fashion. So if I wanted to do it rock and roll style, you obviously have your rock category here. Where is it? Rock. Okay, so a lot of you familiar with the 50s swing rock. That works great. It's also on the Easy series. Sean, what is it called on the Easy series? Do you know?
50s swing rock. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Is it under the rock button?
Sure. Yeah, rock guitarist.
Rock guitarist. So it's called 50s guitar rock, but on the Easy series. And on the Estey, we have a similar one. Let's see here. It's called 50s rock and roll. So you can have a little fun with it if you like, some of the music of the 50s rock and roll era. I won't play the whole song, but here we go.
1, 2, 3.
Also, another good song for that style. If people like "Rocking Around the Christmas Tree," that's perfect for that song. And Robert, I don't hear you.
Rocking Around the Christmas Tree works for that.
Yeah.
Jingle
That's a
Bell Rock.
fun rhythm to play
Wait
with.
a second. Jerome just chimed in. What a
Oh
surprise!
no!
Jingle Bell Rock. Let's see if I could do a little bit of both. Yeah, so you could have a little fun with that. Yeah. Actually, what just happened? Oh my gosh. It happened live at Fletcher Music Centers. We just created a medley.
Oh,
See that? That's how easy it is to come up with a medley. All you have to do is zoom Sean and Jerome in at any time. They'll even be there for you at 11 o'clock at night, they told me.
Yes.
In their pajamas, they'll give you ideas. And the last thing I want to say on this note here, if you're using the 50s rock and you have an auto bass button, listen carefully. Okay? That's the way it normally comes up. Now listen carefully. Watch what happens when I switch from auto bass 1 to auto bass 2. This you might want to write down. Ready? Here we go. Oh, let me change my camera angle here. Sorry. You hear that boogie woogie piano thing going in the background?
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, let me take a quick peek in the chat here. It looks like there's a lot of chatters going on here.
Yeah. As a reminder, if anybody came in late, what we're doing is you can put any Christmas or holiday type song in the chat. You just type it in, and we'll give you some ideas on how to maybe set some of these up.
Okay. I see some, of course, everyone picked songs that I don't know without the music.
Well, same. Yeah, I mean, I
I'll
can
have to look it
at
up.
Santa Baby. There's all sorts you can do with that. I mean,
Yeah, hold on.
I can maybe give a couple ideas on that one.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Let me look here. Santa Baby, what song would you do with that?
Well, I would do the song Santa Baby with that song, but the rhythm I would probably use, anything in your standards button is going to sound good. The only thing with that song Santa Baby is it's very simple in the background. There's not a lot of things happening. So whatever rhythm you use, just turn off Orchestra Plus. That's all the background guys, blaring away. So I would use as an example, I like the rhythm Gypsy Rag. And that goes all the way to like a fanfare, journey, and anything above that. You should have something called Gypsy Rag. It sounds like this. I slowed it down, comes up at 130, but I put it at 100. So if you want Santa Baby, just use Gypsy Rag with the Orc Plus off, tempo of 100, and it should sound something like this. Rather simple, just keep it simple like that. But yeah, if you want, you can use a lot of these standards. Rhythms will work very well. The light styles, if I'm on a grand marquee is what this is. So if you have a grand marquee, which I've got a lot of
There's some
students
grand
with that
marquee and
instrument.
aria owners, so you better give them some good advice here.
Yeah, a lot of the light styles you can use for that too, because they're very light. There's not a lot going on in the background, so they just work perfectly. So that's just a good example of that. Anything with standards, it's going to sound good with Santa Baby. So what other examples do we have?
Here's a Christmas classic for you. Oh Holy Night.
Ooh.
Anybody like the song Oh Holy Night?
I sure do.
Yeah, it's got some hands raising. Let me see. I think I have some easy play music so I don't goof it up too much. Oh Holy Night. Now it's kind of interesting because depending on where you get the music, some may show up. Can you see the key signature in there? Where is it? Oh.
Nope. Is it a B minus?
Looks like it's fuzzy there. Come on.
Oh, a Q.
Autofocus, will you? It says
That's
3/4.
fine. Just tell us.
It says 3/4. But then I went into this book over here because I thought the notes were bigger and easier to read. Let's see. Oh Holy Night, page 159. And then it said this. It said 6/8. And then I looked in another book and it was in 4/4. So you know what? You can do it in all three. The way the style is written. Now the style that a lot of people use, if they have it, is a style that's simply called Holy Night. Okay. And it's kind of an interesting style because if you were looking at the beat, I'm going to play the first few notes without the introduction and just listen to it, and you'll hear that this works perfectly with it. It's perfect for that song, right? But a lot of people, when they put it on, they don't look at it and they don't realize that style comes up at a tempo of 178. Wait a second, that's really fast. In fact, the way it's counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or it could be counted 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. But when you play the song, this is one of those songs styles that I always say, do not look at the tempo thing here because it'll really goof you up. This is one of those songs that,
I can tell you why it's so fast, and it's actually pretty interesting. The rhythm there, Holy Night, is actually in 12/8. That's the original time signature of the song, actually. So it's even weirder.
Hold on, Sean. Hold on. You heard it first live at Fletcher Music Centers from Sean Maloney. For years, I've always wondered. I never really paid attention to that. Say that again.
Well, the signature.
You're going to take a wealth of knowledge from today.
Oh Holy Night is actually in what's called 12/8 time signature, which all that means is there are 12 eighth notes in every measure. So obviously, if you're a fractions, a math whiz, you can kind of half that, and it ends up being 6/8. So you can count it in 6/8. That's why we simplify it with our music, but it's actually technically in 12/8.
And when you're directing it as a band director, you count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh my goodness! This
But you know what? Don't worry about it. Just go by ear.
Bringing me back to
It's
my
easy.
math days. I got an easy answer for all of you. Just put on "Oh Holy Night," listen to the beat, and feel it, and it's going to sound great. And I'll
Exactly.
give you a couple other ideas.
Robert, before you do that,
Yeah.
Oh Holy Night, you don't need a beat. You need your lush button and the choir on top and the cello on the bottom, and forget about the beat.
So if you don't play it with I'll come back to that.
Okay.
So remember what he just said, folks. Lush category preset. But I'm going to just start off with "Holy Night," the style. That's a common one, and then I'm just going to throw out a couple of ideas since I got a couple there. All right. So this is the way you normally get it. Thank you. Please stop it. Jerome was trying to sabotage and make me look bad. I printed out the music, and this is the paper he gave me. Look at all that fuzzy stuff at the. He recycles paper here. But he made mention, if you want to play that song, you really love the song, and you're kind of one of those, well, I don't really goof up with timing. Forget about timing. Some of you have a category preset. There are many category presets work. It's one of the ones that Jerome uses a lot that he loves. It's called Lush. I always thought Lush was a category for drinkers.
That's after Christmas.
Oh. But Lush are some luscious sounds. They're beautiful organ blends, string blends, vocal blends. Which Lush category preset number do you use?
7.
7. So 7 gives us the beautiful choir. So if you just turn that on and maybe just put on a simple golden harp or something like that, let's see, you might get something. We'll put on the easy button. I'll just play a few notes of it. So it works really nice for that. Now, if you listen to that style, it's also considered, Holy Night was designed specifically for that song, so it works perfectly. And I just used a couple of the presets. But if you really listen to it, you could use the Lush category presets with it too. There's a lot of styles that the organs have that same feel. Even a 50s love ballad style, anything that's considered a ballad triplet. So for example, here's your 50s love ballad. And it could work. Maybe put on some strings. Or, believe it or not, tell me, not Jerome and not Sean, tell me if you know what style this is. Are you ready? You put it on. Okay, here we go. Anybody? I'll play it over here too. Maybe some of you have the larger instruments. You go, oh, I do recognize that. Let's see here. Play a few notes. Anybody know? Okay. Now let me play the intro. That's the Wonderful World style. Now, if you didn't hear the intro, you may never know. So if I do use that style, I stay away from the intro 1. I might use the intro 2. Just another great style. And believe it or not, any 4/4 ballad. So if you just use a plain old soft and easy, just go to something like, Cat Memories will work too, by the way. Okay, the trick is don't use the counter. Just play the notes, feel the song. Are there any other songs in there? Joy to the
I
World.
want to mention something. Dennis Anderson put "God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen," which is another good example of a song that is probably best without a rhythm. So just like Jerome said, Lush. Like if I go to that Lush category and I want to play that song, just use the easy button. Don't even put on a rhythm, because it's one of those songs that's, something you sing along to. You don't need a big happening rhythm. It sounds almost better just, it sounds even better just with nothing. Just play with the easy button.
What did you use there? I need to steal your idea.
I just used the Lush strings sound. So that's the Lush category if you have it. Or you can just put on strings, and then
The harmony?
put on the easy button and you're done. Yeah, it's got full AOC harmony on automatically there.
Or
So
four-part
if you
harmony might work with that as well.
just whatever the biggest sound you can get,
What
whatever
was the name of that
biggest
song
harmony.
again?
God rest ye merry gentlemen.
So I hope you caught that.
Mhm.
That's a great tip. Now, what would you use for Joy to the World, Sean? Anything off the top of your head?
No, I don't know.
I've got
I'd have
one.
to think about that one.
I got a couple ideas on this one. It's pretty cool. There is a style that was introduced, I want to say came out on the Grand Royale. And then inevitably the Stardust, and then obviously on the models after that. But there's a style under a lot of the models have it. It's called, it's under the gospel category, and it's called Tabernacle Choir. Show of hands, how many of you use that style? Anybody? If you have it, you'd be surprised how many people don't use it, because when you think of the style and you listen to it, you kind of say, oh, it's only good for these types of songs. But I actually tried it with this years ago, and this is such a great style. But listen, this is the way the style is. Pretty. Now I'm going to ask Sean to think about this while I'm continuing on in this. Find me a style on the Easy series that would be something similar. Okay.
Well, I would just
Got
say
a few
easy
minutes.
4/4 would be fine, or guitars 4/4.
Okay, I'll
One of
come
those
back
two.
to that. Okay, now for those of you who have this style, here's a fun little tip. If you put on altar style, you'll have the tabernacle choir singers. They start singing in all these other little vocal pieces to it, these counter melodies. It's really pretty. So here's the style without it. Listen. Oh, I'm in a different key. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So this is how you normally get it. Okay. Now I'm going to reach up and hit altar style and watch what you get. Did you hear the book? And if you go to number 10, you get this beautiful big pipe organ sound and these beautiful chimes down here. So what I might do on this style is I'll play it one time through on just a normal rhythm preset, or vintage if you have the EX series. And then I'll repeat it maybe with the altar style on. And then go to number 10. Good to admit Carl there. Okay. So I'll play it one more time. Here we go. Without the altar style. Bring in my altar style, let the singers come in and sing a little bit. And while they're doing that, I'm going to switch to number 10. So angelic. hope the volume was okay. That was a big sound. Did it clip at all there?
Yep.
It did? Okay.
I would turn it down a hair.
When I get to the bigger sounds here. Okay, so now what was the style you said? Guitars or something like that?
Guitars 4/4, which I can go into something from that too, based on some suggestions in here.
Oh boy. Oh
yeah.
boy. It's
Yeah.
going to get crazy here in a minute. We're getting inundated with brainstorming power. It's a surge of brainstorming ideas. So if I'm on this model, I would go to smooth, is it? And that's guitar
Smooth
4/4, you said?
guitarist. Yeah.
Guitars 4/4. So guitars 4/4. The reason why I have the journey is because a lot of the styles are listed similarly on the Easy 10 and the 4. Actually, there is a soft and easy guitars on even the SE series. That's the Odyssey, Premier, the Legacy, all the SU series. And if you have the guitarist pianist category group of styles, you would go into the guitarist and it would be in there. But I just rambled off a bunch of those, so I don't know what everybody has. So if you have one of those models that I listed, but anyway, here's how this style starts. Let's just put on the intro. Now, this comes up with a guitar sound. I'm going to switch to some of my presets, maybe with a choir or strings, I think. Out nicer than I thought. So that was guitar 4/4, and then I went to what it gave me was some violins with some strings. So if you have the choice, you want to use that. If you're using a violin with strings, use a duet harmony. You get that nice duet harmony sound between the two violins and the strings. And in that case, I saw a bell sound on the bottom, so I tried it. Now, Sean had a brainstorm idea.
Well, so far, this is really bringing me joy, so this is working out. I'm going to teach you guys a really cool trick. It's going to blow you away. Are you guys ready?
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
I'm at the edge of my seat.
I don't know if you guys have ever experienced this, but I was just realizing this right before. You know, you put your book up sometimes for a song, and then you turn up, and then it just closes on you. You know, some of you use little clips and things like that. Well, a helpful trick is around the holiday season. You can put your book up, and I know some of you around this season have things like this sitting around the house, you know, candy canes. Well, check this out. All I got to do is put a candy cane on each side, and it holds my music. Where do you get this stuff? That's perfect. Okay. So what I was going to talk about.
What Sean does all day at work.
Yeah, there's my trick
he
of the day.
sits around going, what can I do to...
Yeah. I see everybody writing down, too, like, oh, yeah, I've got so many candy canes, you know. So, yeah, use them as book holders. But what I was going to say is I see in the chat here, somebody put the song Mary Did You Know? And that's another really, really good one to use that same rhythm he just used. Guitars 4/4 is the rhythm name, or you can, like he said, touch smooth guitarist, and that gives you just a really nice mellow background with a guitar player in the background. So I'm going to use guitars 4/4 with a tempo of 90. Okay, and then all I did beyond that is I'm just going to kind of a string sound. So if you have what are called setups or presets, I just touch number 4, and it's going to give me some strings. So let's hear what this sounds like. I'll put an intro on. I don't like that intro. So there's Mary, Did You Know? If you just put on that, what is it, Guitars 4/4, it sounds just a really nice light rhythm. I would use introduction 1. I used 2. I didn't really think that fit that well, but number 1 would be a better one. So intro and ending 1. So there's your answer for that. Let's see. Let's look at the chat and see if we have other suggestions. I think we missed a couple here and there, but if you haven't put any yet, anything in the chat, feel free. We'll try to cover it.
Okay, someone has her hand raised. Helen, you have a question? Helen Beam, you have a question?
Oh, I see her there. She is. I'll ask you to unmute.
Can
There
you
you
hear
go.
me?
Yep,
Yep.
now we can.
Okay, I've played Mary, Did You Know with the Spots of Ink.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness. While I'm
And
getting
I
my
kinda
camera,
like that.
Sean, play that with spots
Well-
of ink.
Well,
We'll
that's
put 'em to
perfectly
the
all right.
test.
So one of my favorite things, we have students at our store out here in Mesa that, seem to do that all the time. We teach a class and we say, okay, for this song, we're going to use this rhythm because that's what we think, oh, that'll sound good. But my favorite thing is when somebody comes to us and says, so I use this rhythm, is that okay? And what do you think the answer is? Yeah, if you like it, use it. And Spots of Ink is honestly one of my all-time favorite rhythms. I think that's in the smooth button as well. Or maybe not. Where is it? Pop? No, ballad.
Well,
Yeah,
you have
ballad.
your
Okay.
you have your classic styles button on that.
Pardon? Yeah.
Use your classic
so I
styles
can do
button
that.
on the pop category.
Uh-huh.
I
So
remember.
that's here's Spots of Ink. Let's try it. This is a good experiment. Here we go. I like that. That's fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
You can do that. The answer is yes. That's good.
Okay, now someone put Drummer Boy. Believe it or not, I got an idea I've done Drummer Boy many different ways. And one day I heard Joe Fontesha play it. This was a long time ago. And I thought, wow, that's a great style. And I asked him what he used, and he told me, and I thought he was yanking my chain. Believe it or not, there's a lot of great styles. But the one that I use a lot with it, let me get it up here first. Let's see, there it is. See if you can guess the name of the style. I'm not going to put on the intro because a lot of times the intro gives it away. Watch. Okay, students, anybody know what style that was? It is bolero. Now, a lot of people think bolero, they think that's a Latin style, isn't it? Well, it is. It's under the Latin category. But what I did is I put on the rhythm style, and then I hit my no chord, so all you heard was the drummer first. And then you can just play the melody for a while, however you want. And then when you're ready, bring in the chords of the music. And then when I was reaching over, all I was doing was putting my drum variation on, alter style. I was trying to see which one I liked the best. I was just experimenting live. So you could try that. You could try with alter style. Without it's a great style. Someone put in there, how about Rudolph with a happy polka beat? How about Rudolph with a happy polka beat? Well, guess what?
What?
I think it'll work. Let's see. And I have another idea for Rudolph, since you just kind of, you got my brain power going here, my brainstorming power juices flowing.
Finally.
Let's see. Happy polka. Let's go to polka. And I know there's a one called Happy Polka. Let's see here. Here we go. That works. You know what I like to use?
I
Here's a
love it.
classic style that it's been around for a while. It's a lot of fun. It's called, oops, wrong button. It's called razzmatazz. And if you're in the mood for medleys, Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph work perfectly. You have to be careful with those two, because sometimes the melody is very similar. If you're playing them, I've mistakenly gone from one song to the other midway by accident, and I made it seem like that was on purpose. But razzmatazz is a great style. Here we go. Or it's a style that I like to use. Here we go. How's that? That's pretty cool. So, thank you. So that's another cool style. Razzmatazz, like a Dixieland. So if you use that, you want to switch to Dixieland. You know, a lot of people use just a good old classic country style. Okay? Just put on your country.
1, 2.
Accidentally went into Frosty. It's a cool prank you can play on people. If you're playing music for some people, start off with Rudolph, and then there's a part of the song that you can actually go right into Frosty, and they won't know it, and they'll still try to sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You go, aren't you singing the right song? You have a lot of fun with that. Let's see, any other ideas?
So I
here?
tried for Marie and Jeanette. They've both put Handel's Messiah, and I cannot find the music. I just looked through every Christmas book and a bunch of books that I have, but I can't find it. So
Oh, you're making it tough on us today.
I'm out of ideas on that one. So I'll
Oh my
have to
goodness.
get
We'll
back
have
to
do
both of
some-
you.
We'll have to do some research on that.
Yeah.
Here's one.
Like-
It's a classic. Obviously, I think it's when I heard at one time it was the most played song in history, and it's called White Christmas.
I've never
And
heard
I've
of that.
heard
No.
White Christmas, hundreds of different versions of it, from the classic versions to some of the new pop artists of today versions to jazz versions, you name it. So just going to give you two. These aren't the ultimately. The cool thing about the holiday and the Christmas songs is pick a style and just start playing the song. And if it works for you, it works. But a style that works nicely for it is, I think we lost Sean. I think it's on that instrument. It's very popular. It's a style called doo-wop delight. I believe that's what it's called on the Grand Marquis and the aria. That sound right?
Right.
And that is the Drifters version that they do on that style. It's a great style, and they do a lot of doo-wop with that. I don't have doo-wop delight on this instrument that I'm playing on. Oh, there he is. Do you know how to play White Christmas?
No, but I do have the music right in front of me.
Or just
and
a
I
few
have
notes.
my,
I can
have
play
my
the whole
candy cane
song.
holders.
Yeah, okay. Well, you don't have to play the whole thing, but before you do that,
Candy
this is
cane
one of those
holders
songs
right
that
there.
really depends on how you want it to sound. A great way to do it, that's something that virtually everybody have, is select a swing style. Okay, if you don't have an actual slow swing rhythm, depending on if the smaller models may not have it, you can choose one of your big band styles and just slow it down. But if you put on, for example, any of the swing styles like Serenade, believe it or not, there's a couple things that you want to keep in mind if you're doing this. Serenade, Autumn Keys, San Fran's, Dinner and Dance. I'll repeat that. Serenade, Autumn Keys, San Fran's, and Dinner or Dance. Now, the first three I mentioned, if you want to go out there and use those styles, you want to make sure Orchestra Plus is off. Okay? And I'll tell you why. It should be obvious. Here's the Serenade style. What happens is you get those muted trumpet fills that's designed for Moonlight Serenade. Okay? If you have Autumn Keys, it's okay. If you've used, I would stay away from the fill-in, because then it gives you the Autumn Leaves fill. If you turn off your Orchestra Plus and you do the fill-in, you won't hear it. See that? I'm doing a fill. And then the same thing with San Fran's, it does a lot of those fills. I would turn off Orchestra Plus. Now, so any of those slow swing styles, and those are at tempos of 70, 75, okay? And another nice little thing I like to do, just to give it a nice, warm, rich tone, is I put on simply a 16, I put on a 16 and 8 organ flute. Okay, sounds like this. And then I put on with a harmony, a block harmony, a 4-part harmony. Okay, and you take any of those styles that I mentioned. Let's put on Serenade. All right, I'm going to turn off the Orchestra Plus so I don't have the Moonlight Serenade fills going on. So I have just a 16 and 8/4 flute with a harmony, and this is what you get. Just a nice, good, soft, mellow tone. You could add some strings, some choirs to that, and it gives you a beautiful, beautiful tone. That lush category that Jerome talked about. So that works nicely. And then, of course, for you Grand Marquis aria owners, if you want to make it sound like the Drifters version.
Yeah, so I can do that right here too, just to show you. This is the fun way to do it, like the more positive, happy way, I guess, rather than some kind of slow ballad. But you can also do it like this.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so I've got about 30 more songs to go,
Ah,
but I can't do them all today. And by the way, and I got some quick announcements. I'm going to give you one more uh, song, two songs actually. And I'm going to give you the abbreviated version. But I just taught this in our class Tuesday, and I have the typed out specific setup arrangement, and I'm going to post it on Patreon. So all you have to do is go to our Patreon site, and it'll be up there publicly. It's going to be free for all. Okay. And I'll show you what it's going to look like. So the two songs that I'm going to feature are, let's see, I think it's this. Okay. All right. Is going to be Winter Wonderland and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Okay. And this page will also be listed, and it'll tell you what I'm doing here. I'm going to tell you the Reader's Digest version now. All right. But basically what I'm using for these two songs is the Franken account style. I go back from a piano to jazz guitar. You're going to hear some muted trumpets in here. Let me just pull up my setting here. So I'll start off with, I don't forget where I start off, but you're going to hear some pianos. You're going to hear some jazz guitars. You're going to hear some muted trumpets. You might hear a trombone. And then you might hear for the finale, like a nice, it's good, rich, big jazz theater organ sound with strings. It's just a nice, a big, full, rich sound here. So let me pull these setups here. I labeled them on here. And for those of you who are savvy, I'll put the presets on there as well, so you can just download them right from the Patreon site. So let's see, I have piano, some jazz guitars. I have piano, jazz guitar, trombone, and some muted trumpets. Oh, the plunger trumpet too. Trombone, and then I finish with a nice big organ sound. All right, so I'm going to do that. Couple announcements before I do this. And I want you to listen carefully because I do some things in here. So when you get the handout, you'll know what I did. I used altar styles and drum variations throughout, but I just gave you the Reader's Digest version, and I play it at a tempo 115. A couple things. First of all, Sean, I don't know if you have access to it or if you can. I don't know if everybody knows of our Patreon page, because that's where I'm going to put these setups. Do you have instant access, or do you have to type a bunch of things?
okay, yeah, I've got it.
Sean's like
Let me
Super
just
Sean.
make it smaller here so they can see it a little better there. Okay,
Super
should be
Sean.
good to go. Huh?
You're Super Sean. You can do things in a second's notice. So Patreon, if you look on the web browser up there in the whatever you call that, what do you call that thing? Search.
I would say, yeah, some kind of bar,
You-
search
the search bar.
bar.
It's patreon.com/Fletcher Music Centers. If you're on our web page, there's an option that brings you right to that. And if you scroll down, you'll notice that some of the content is visible. That means it's publicly available for everybody. So in that particular Christmas, what was that called? Christmas.
Christmas is.
So Dawn taught a class for that, and she has, she wrote out the intro on that. Look at that. Look at all the work she does for that. Click on
Yeah.
that.
Which one? This
PDF.
one?
The PDF up there.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
She
Okay.
hand writes sometimes the intros for these. Look at this.
Can you see that?
Goes out of the way and hand writes the intros for you. So if you're not a member of Patreon, you really should, just for that.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them are publicly available and some of them are just for Patreon. So if you scroll down, you
Yeah.
have to unlock that
So-
one.
So if they look like this, you just become a patron. You get bonus. This is all bonus, extra stuff.
Some of Don's classes are publicly available, some are not. But today, today, tomorrow, the next 3 days, today's class will be posted there, but I'll also put these handouts that I just showed you along with some of the music as well. So you have the setup for the song, okay? The other thing I want to tell you is if you haven't heard, you probably heard by now, throughout the month of November and the first 10 days of December, so almost 6 weeks, we've been having a contest where you have the opportunity to win a beautiful top-of-the-line virtual orchestra or your next instrument. So if you have not entered for that yet, that ends tomorrow, contact your personal assistant ASAP for more details on that, okay? As a matter of fact, at 11:30 today, it's 1:30 Eastern, I send out a final reminder today in your email. And it is, wow, it's December 9th already? Oh my goodness.
Holy
Over
crow.
about 2 weeks, 2 weeks to Christmas. And I know some of you may have run into that problem that I run into sometimes. We wait to the last minute. We're trying to think of those last minute Christmas gifts. We have some good ideas for Christmas gifts.
What ideas do you have? I'm not sure Oh!
We have a couple of ideas. And, don't forget, it's okay to treat ourselves to a Christmas gift once in a while, right? Yes. Okay. Anyway, so we have some really phenomenal opportunities going on at this time of the year. This also happens to be the end of the year for us, so it's important for us to reduce our inventory. So we really do some special things depending on the instrument you might be thinking about. So I'm going to encourage you to reach out to your personal assistants because we have some pretty phenomenal opportunities out there on a good selection of our instruments. All right, so for the closing number here, I'm going to do Winter Wonderland, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, using these setups that I'm going to post on our Patreon site. So here we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please hold it high. Well, we hope today that you had gotten some good ideas for your Christmas and holiday music. And keep an eye out on your emails because we have, first of all, we do have a lot of in-store Christmas parties happening at your local stores. And then sometime during this month, we are going to do, for those of you who are far, don't worry, we're going to do some, last year we did it for the first time, a Sounds of the Seasons virtual concert. So for those of you who aren't in an area where you can come visit us at the store, what have you, stay tuned in because we are going to do Sounds of the Season featuring all of your staff members at Fletcher Music Centers. All right. So with that said, thank you so much for attending today. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll hope to see you real soon. Thank you. Stay safe. Keep playing music. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. And mwah.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Great class, Robert, Sean.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.